Miller, I'm happy to be here with you, brother. So, leading up to that bowl game last year, you're getting that opportunity and you get the nod. And talk to me about that process and what you're going through mentally, because you know it's an opportunity for you to go out and, kind of take the bull by the horns and kind of set your presence for this team leading into the following year.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think I really tried to make an effort, or conscious effort, to not make it more than what it was. If I look at like, oh, this is a career-defining moment, this is a career-defining game, even if it was, like, I think that's too much to maybe take on at once. So I tried to really just dive into the game plan, dive into what the space our team needed to be in order to go out and execute. And I think we were able to take that one step at a time and end up having the outcome that we wanted.
I'd say it was a pretty good outcome. Like, what, 374, 6 touchdowns? I mean, that's what I'm talking
Something
about.
like that.
I did hear that after the game, right, you got a call from Lincoln Riley talking about just basically what you were able to achieve in that game, but at the same time kind of paid you a compliment by saying we're not looking to bring in a veteran guy in the portal. What did that mean to you? How did that impact your confidence moving forward into this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it meant the world to me. You know, it was something that I'd worked for so long, for such a large portion of my life. So it was really gratifying, but it was also like, okay, like, now the real work begins, so to speak. I mean, that's kind of cliche, but now it's okay. How can we use this win to springboard us into the next offseason and then the next season? So it was really exciting in a lot of ways, and like I said, very gratifying. But also, it's like, okay, now we have a lot more stuff to go get, a lot more work to go do.
Of course. Coach Riley, his background with quarterbacks, it's been outstanding. The success he's had, the Heisman Trophy winners that he's produced, what makes him so unique and so good,
Right.
particularly with coaching that position?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's elite when it comes to the schematics, when it comes to play design, when it comes to game plan. But I think what really sets him apart from the rest is his temperament and his ability to recognize the strengths of his quarterbacks and play to those strengths. And I think the way he speaks to his quarterbacks, the way he deals with his quarterbacks, the way he makes them feel comfortable in the system and not afraid to make mistakes, I think is really unique. And playing for him, you never feel like you have to do more than what is asked of you because you have absolute confidence in the call coming from the sideline. So you know he's going to set you up to take shots. You know he's going to put you in good positions to succeed, and that's a really calming feeling, so to speak, to be out there.
100%. You obviously backed up Caleb Williams. You're around him day to day. And I played with guys myself like Carson Palmer and
Right.
some of these guys that you take little parts of their game, but you watch them on a daily basis waiting for your turn.
Right.
Talk to me about your relationship with Caleb and also some of the things that you take away from Caleb now that he's left as you
Right.
move into the starting role.
Right. Yeah. I mean, me and Caleb have a great relationship. I think we'll always be friends. We text back and forth sometimes. Now, obviously, he's getting a little busier these days. Now that training camp has started for him, but yeah. I mean, when it comes to our relationship, we'll always be friends. We'll always be very good friends. I think those practices when he first got there, we were the only two scholarship quarterbacks on the roster. So every single day in spring practice, it would be him and me, him and me, him and me. And I think going back and forth like that was awesome. It was really, really fun, but it also shaped who I am as a competitor and as a player, not only now but going forward. When it comes to what I would take from him, I would just say his absolute confidence. Like, no matter, he could throw for 505 touchdowns, or he could have a bad half, throw a pick, or have a bad practice, or whatever it was, and he never lost confidence that he was the player that he was. And I think, obviously, like, at our position, that's something that's invaluable, and I think that's something that I really tried to take on, and obviously take on moving forward.
Yeah, we haven't even started season, but if you were to paint the picture for me, for you both personally and as a team,
Right.
at the end of this year, you'd want it to go what way?
Yeah.
It's a pretty loaded
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Like, oh, I want to be 500. No,
Yeah.
no, you know what I'm saying.
Um,
Like, personally,
Right.
what are your goals for this season for you and as well as the team?
Right. I mean, obviously, this in playing USC, but the expectation at USC is to go out there and win. So I think that's, first and foremost, that's the expectation. But I think for me to define this year as a success, like, I want to put absolutely everything I have into getting ready and playing every single week. And I think in being able to do that, I'll live with the result, whatever that may be. So I think we have the guys to go be as successful as we want to be, and I'm really, really excited about that. But yeah, I think as long as we put everything we have into it, like, we'll live with whatever result that may be, and obviously hoping that's a very positive one and believing that's a very positive one.
Love that. There's been a long lineage of great quarterbacks that come through USC. And playing at USC, you talked about it. Like, it brings that pressure and you feel
Right.
it. How are some of the ways that you combat feeling the pressure, but at the same time understanding, like, this is an opportunity for me to
Absolutely.
go out and play for the University of Southern California
Right.
with all this rich tradition and the history, and also particularly the quarterback play?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, it's a lot to kind of encapsulate at once, but it's also a tremendous honor to be able to do so. So I think the first thing I would say is you can't take all that on at any particular moment. You can't be like, oh my God, like I'm playing quarterback at USC, like
Right.
there's all these people watching me. Like in my mind, that's the complete wrong way to approach it. I think the best way for me to approach it and what I've done in the past is just take it one play at a time, one decision at a time. And I think if you're able to do that, then you'll have success regardless of what environment you're operating in. So that's really been my approach, and hopefully I'll be able to continue to stay disciplined and continue to be able to do that.
When you look at yourself and you observe yourself in playing, what's something that you'd say is a major strength of yours, and what's something that you say, look, I still am trying to get a little bit better here? Because we're always, as players, seeking to find ways to better ourselves, whether it's the way that we watch film, whether it's how we diagnose defense. But
Right.
talk to me about that process as you go through it this offseason leading into camp.
Yeah. I guess bad news first, so I'll go weakness first. And this is something Coach Riley has talked to me about, but I think when I play poorly or have a poor result, it's usually attributed to the fact that I try to do more than what is asked of me and be more than what is required on that particular play. So I think just playing within myself is really important, and continuing to understand that what I do, what my game is more than enough for us to win. So I think that's really important for me going in this year. And I think strength is just, I think, be able to bring our guys together, being able to understand what we're trying to achieve on any given play, any given drive, and leading our team to be able to do that.
Love it. All right, you're in LA, USC. They've done some renovations since I left.
Right.
What's your go-to spot? Where do you like to hang?
Like around campus?
Yeah, around campus. Like, what's your thing that you like to do outside of the football realm?
Yeah. Well, they have some pickleball courts behind the baseball
Nice.
field, so I love playing pickleball with the guys on the team. That's really fun. The Dolce. Did they have the Village when you were there?
Oh no,
Okay.
it was a broken down area.
It was like a liquor store.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah. So there's a restaurant there called Dolce. Their breakfast burritos are really, really good. So if you're ever on campus, I highly recommend. But yeah, pickleball, I love just like hanging out with my friends, doing whatever. There's a movie theater downtown that we go to.
yeah.
Saw Despicable Me a couple weeks ago. That was pretty good. So, but yeah, just normal college kid stuff.
Love it. Who's the guy that you say is the closest friend on the team that you'd have?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I have a lot of close friends on the team, so I don't want anyone to feel bad. Me and Jacoby Lane have become really, really close. Lake McCree is also one of my really, really good friends. I mean, there's so many. Like, I feel like I'm insulting people by not leaving them out, but I really love those two guys and love spending time with them.
The power of USC is that it brings a lot of star power to the campus. Is there
Right.
one person in particular that you met while on campus that you're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, that's
Right.
so and so?
Will Ferrell came to one of our practices, and like obviously like the football players that come back are historic and great to spend time around, but seeing someone like that from a completely different venue than we work in every day was cool. And he was really funny, like even in person. Like usually some of those guys are funny on TV and then they're not so much so like when you're with them in person, but he was awesome.
Going back to Caleb, what's your favorite Caleb Williams story that defines him as a person and a player that you can remember?
I have some funny ones, but shoot. It's a good question. I mean, like, we didn't end up winning this game, but I remember we were either down a touchdown or I think we were down a touchdown against Washington this year at home. We scored a touchdown. I got called back for holding. We missed the field goal, and then they went down and scored, and we were down 10. And I look at Caleb, and I was just like not necessarily a positive outpour of emotion for me. And Caleb's like, Caleb's reaction was, "No, like I've still got 2 minutes." Even when we're down 10, and he was like, "No, I've still got 2 minutes." And I think that really, like, encompasses who he was as a player and the confidence that he carried himself with. I have some other funny ones, but I think that was, like, in all seriousness, that was like a really true embodiment of who he was as a player and the confidence that he carried himself with.
Okay, you guys are coming in the Big Ten first year, new conference, new opponents. There's some travel involved. What are your thoughts about it? There's some challenges, obviously, with with the travel and everything else
Right.
taking place. But talk to me a little bit about the Big Ten and coming into this new conference this year.
I mean, USC is a national brand. Like, we've always traveled. We go to South. We were in South Bend this past year. Obviously, we're going to do a little bit more of it, but I think it's not like the players don't decide the schedule. You know what I mean? Like, we don't choose who we play. It's our job to get ready each and every week to go beat our opponent. I think that's exactly what we're going to do. So I think we're really excited about some of the venues we get to go to. It'll definitely be cool. A lot of you guys probably haven't been in those parts of the country, and that part will be cool and fun and all that. But at the end of the day, like, our main objective is to prepare to go win football games.